Hello everyone, Tina here. Welcome to PhotoPlay's YouTube channel and welcome to Tuesdays with Tina. Today I'm super excited to share a project with you. We are using a background stamp today. The background stamp is called the Say It With Stamps Acorn background. It has some fun and playful acorns and leaves in here. This is a background stamp that's great for alcohol marker coloring because the images are so big. But if you are in a rush or you want it quick and easy, Say It With Stamps has a coordinating acorn stencil set. This is a 3-piece stencil set and it's made to line up with your background stamp beautifully so you can color in your images very quickly actually. The stencil set's pretty basic. You have one that's the leaf, one that is the acorn top, and then one that's the acorn bottom. So that's what we're going to be using to create our project today. Now, I picked out some colors. I'm going to put my stencil aside for now. We need to stamp our background. So since this is a large background stamp, we're going to bring in our stamping positioner. And I have 2 pieces of cardstock. We're going to stamp twice. And I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to my stamping positioner because that is what I do. And since this is a background stamp, I'm using the grid lines on my stamping positioner to get, so I can get all 4 corners of this with my image. I'm going to remove the plastic off of, now you'll notice on my plastic acetate I have a little label. I did this intentional on my background, the acetate, because for my stencil, I marked on the very top. See, I can't even find them right now. Right here. I marked at the very top corners with little black dots, the right side up. So I'm making sure that when I put this down on my background panel, that it's right side up. This way, when I do my stenciling, it will be easy, very easy to line up. We're going to pick this up and we're just going to use an alcohol marker friendly ink for our first panel. Let's go ahead and add some ink to our background. And it stamps wonderful. I'm going to pick this up and then I'm going to do the same thing with my second panel, but I'm going to make sure I have it in the same position as my first one. So we'll just using the grid, we'll line that up and then I will stamp this one more time and it just stamps beautifully. Okay, I'm going to set this off to the side. We're going to start. I already put some low tack adhesive behind my stencil. I use some pixie spray behind here because it really does help with the adhesion. Now remember I mentioned the dot. Already I could tell that I'm not right side up because my dot is in the wrong corner. So I'm going to flip my dot around. These stencils are indexed too, so that makes it helpful. They're indexed with A, B, and C. But we are going to use our leaf first. I believe the leaf is stencil C. I went ahead and adhered my stencil. And again, I mentioned 3 different colors of inks. I'm going to use my blending brushes and we're going to add a variant of color. Now, I'm not going to worry about the edges of this panel because we are going to be using a die to cut out a portion of this. Okay, let's start off with our yellow. Coloring is going to be really easy. Add a little bit of red. And then I'll add some orange. And I think that looks great. I've mentioned this before that I like to wipe down my stencil while it's on the paper. And I'm going to remove it, and our beautiful leaves are done. Super easy, right? I love creating our own pattern paper. So let's put away our ink for our leaves, and then we're going to bring in our stencil A. And I put spray behind here. I'm going to find my dot. This is actually stencil B. The acorn tops is stencil B. And again, it's easy peasy to line up. And for the acorn tops, I'm going to be using my dark brown ink. And I'm just going to use a blending brush for this. Okay, and then we'll work on our next one. How fun is this? I'll take our acorn bottom, I'll find that dot, and we'll just tack this down. And for this, we'll take our dark or tan ink, and I'm going to go over the bottom of our acorns with this. And it didn't take too much time at all to create our background. Now I'm going to bring in my second panel, and for this we are going to take some masking paper. I'm going to actually trim this down and take a 1/4 inch off. So I have a panel that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. Now I have a piece of Gina K Masking Magic, and this is the same exact size you see here. I'm going to be using one of my rounded rectangle dies, and this is almost one of the middle ones. I'm going to create a window in my panel. So I will tape this down. I'm going to run my masking paper through my die cut machine, and then we're going to mask off our panel here. I'm going to use the window part of it. Okay, I'm going to remove the release paper. And then we're going to place this on our panel. Okay, now I'm going to bring back the stencils, and we're going to do a little bit more ink blending. Let's start with our leaves. I'm going to find that corner piece here, and we'll just line these up right over the masking paper. And then we need to bring back our inks. So for our leaves, we have these. I might have enough ink left over on my brushes. So let's try using the ink that's on our blending brushes. So we'll start with the red. It's always a nice start. And I think that's going to work out perfectly. We have some orange and some reds, so we didn't have to ink up much. I'm going to use my towel and just wipe away the excess here. And then we'll remove our stencil, and we'll work on our acorns. Now we get to remove our stencil, and then I'm going to remove the mask. And I love that we just stenciled the inside. We're going to set this panel off to the side, and then we are going to bring in another stamp set and do just a little bit of coloring. I'm going to bring in the Who Let the Dogs Out stamp. I wanted to add something extra to our card, and I really like the Dalmatian, and I thought the Dalmatian would go really good with the black and white fall background. So we're going to stamp this cute little pup with our alcohol marker friendly ink on some white cardstock. And then I'm just going to use a few colors and color this in really fast. Dalmatians are super easy to color, so I don't even think I have to speed up the video for this. But I'm just going to add a little bit of my 100 marker on the ear here. Okay, and then I'll use my C4. And we'll finish off those darker areas just with the C4. We'll make it pretty easy today. Actually, I'm saying C4, but clearly it's C6. I think I might need another cup of coffee. Okay, so our spots are done. Then we just do a little bit of shading with my W1 marker. This gives this little guy a little bit of dimension. Wonderful. And then for his, we need his cheeks. RV000 for his cheeks. And then we're going to color in his collar orange, brown and orange. I have E37 for his collar, and then I have YR04 for his little name tag. And that is our cute little critter. Let's go ahead and take the coordinating die. The Who Let the Dogs Out has a coordinating die set. We're going to use this. We'll just tape this down and run this through our die cut machine. And while we run this through the die cut machine, remember our background panel that we created at the beginning of our stenciling. I'll show you here. This one. I'm going to take two of my favorite leaves and I'm going to fussy cut. Hopefully they'll be on the side here. And then I'm going to fussy cut one or two of the leaves out of this panel. Now I went ahead and fussy cut two of my leaves. I made sure that I got a lot of color in those leaves. I cut out our little Dalmatian, and while I was at it, I cut out a 1-inch strip of our homemade pattern paper that we used with our Acorn background stamp. We are going to work on our sentiment now. The sentiment I'm going to use, the Say It With Stamps Blessings stamp set, and also the Say It With Stamps Blessing die set. This has, these don't come together. They're, you can get them individually, so if you just want the blessings die, you can get this separately, and it comes with an outline, which is really nice. I'm going to be using I'm Thankful for My Many Blessings, and I'm going to take some white cardstock and die cut out my background with white. Not only die cut it out with white, I'm going to take my blessings, which looks just like this. It's really pretty. And I'm going to cut this out 3 times. We're going to do a little stacking with it. So white with the outline and 3 times with the blessings with white cardstock. And then I'm also going to die cut out blessings with some brown cardstock. I think brown's a nice fall color. And so I'll take the blessings and die cut this out. And then we will stamp the sentiment. I'm thankful for my many. Okay, to add a little bit of dimension to my blessing sentiment, it's very easy. I'm just going to use my tape runner, add some adhesive, and then we'll stack all 3 of our white sentiments together. Of course, you could use glue to stack all of these together, but sometimes tape runner is nice too. Just, I guess, depends on your tape runner. So I layered all of my white together, and we have a little bit of dimension here. Of course, if you wanted to die cut out this with fun foam, you very well could, and that would do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and now take my brown blessing sentiment and put this right on top of the white one. So now we can take our sentiment and add this over our shadow. And we have, I love the way this just looks wonderful. You can see the dimension that that gives. Now I'm going to add my eye with a dot of glue. I love when it kind of, this is one of the occasions where you really like it to stick inside of your die. This way you don't lose it. That's a safe spot for it. I'm going to add a little dot of glue. Okay, and then I'll punch out my eye here. I'm going to find it. I'm just using a jewel picker upper. I'll pick that dot up. We'll add our eye. And then you can see I already stamped I'm Thankful for My Many. I stamped it with black ink. And then die cut it out with my sentiment strips. These are so nice because Say It With Stamps has a lot of sentiment stamps like this, and their blockade letters are all the same size. So you could use this with multiple stamp sets, which is a great investment. I went ahead and put some foam tape behind the top part of my sentiment. We're going to grab all of our elements and some pattern paper. We're going to bring it all in today. I love stripes, and so I'm going to use the Say It With Stamps neutral 6x6 paper pad. We're going to adhere a panel that I cut with the brown stripes to our card front. This is a side folding A2 size card. We're going to add adhesive. This is going to go over the front. So our panel measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And then this is slightly smaller, so you're going to see a little bit of those stripes on the edge. We're going to add our panel now. And of course I used my rounded rectangles, but a rectangle die would work great. Also, even the arch dies would look great for this. I'm going to add our pattern to the front of our card base, and then I cut this strip out. This is going to go on the inside of our card. Sometimes it's always nice to decorate the inside of the card, and I like to add a little bit of a border. So let's use up that. So now our inside is decorated too. I'm going to take my little Dalmatian, and I'm going to use some bigger foam squares for him. We'll add him over here. I'm going to add the first part of my sentiment just above my blessings. Just make sure it's straight, like so. And then we have our leaves. I just put foam adhesive behind one of these leaves because our little fur friend is going to be holding a leaf in his mouth. And then this one we're going to put on the inside. How cute is he? I'm going to finish off my card with a few of my copper colored gems. We'll just add a few here and there. I'm going to add one more over here. And I think that's just what we needed, just that little added sparkle. And that finishes my card today. We used the Acorn background stamp and stencil set from the Say It With Stamps collection. I hope you enjoyed my project. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.